Good afternoon, students. Today I am going to start the topic of consolidation because I think in unit of settlement of foundation, you all people might be having the problem in consolidation settlement. So once I will revise the chapter of consolidation, and after that I will revise the topic of vertical stresses. Later on, I will discuss something about the stability of slopes also. Once you all people once I revise the topic of consolidation and vertical stress, you all people will be in position to solve the numerical problems of settlement of foundation very easily. So go through those problems, try to solve it, and try some numerical problems related to foundation bearing capacity chapter also, which I am continuously sending to you all people on WhatsApp group. From tomorrow onwards, I have started to send some GATE previous year question paper of geotechnical engineering burn also, so that you all people might be able to solve those topic before GATE examination. So reference book for this topic, it is Brajam Das, Principle of Geotechnical Engineering, 8th edition, Senate Learning, ISBN this and this, and J. Canapet and RF Craig. So structures are built in the soils, they transfer loads to the subsoil through the foundation. The effect of the load is felt by the soil, normally up to a depth of about 4 times the width of the foundation. The soil within this depth get compressed due to the imposed stresses. The compression of the soil mass leads to the decrease in the volume of the mass, which results in the settlement of the structure. If the settlement is not kept to the tolerable limit, the desired use of the structure may be impaired and the design life of the structure may be reduced. It is therefore important to have a mean predicting the amount of soil compression or consolidation. Compressibility, the settlement is defined as the compression of a soil layer due to the loading applied at or near its top surface. The total compression of the soil under the load is composed of 3 components, that is elastic settlement, primary consolidation settlement, and secondary compression. There are 3 types of settlement. Immediate or elastic settlement, denoted by S capital E, caused by the elastic deformation of the dry soil and of the moist and saturated soil without the change in the moisture content. Primary consolidation settlement, denoted at SC, volume change in the saturated cohesive soil as a result of expulsion of the water that occupies the void spaces. Secondary consolidation, denoted at capital S and SS, volume change due to the plastic adjustment of the soil fabrics under a constant effective stress creep. Coarse grained soil do not undergo consolidation settlement due to the relatively highly hydraulic conductivity compared to the clay soil. Instead, coarse grained soil undergo immediate settlement. So consolidation settlement is the vertical settlement, vertical displacement of the surface corresponding to the volume change in the saturated cohesive soil as a result of expulsion of the water that occupies the void spaces. And consolidation settlement will result, for example, if a structure is built over a layer of a saturated clay, or if the water table is lowered permanently in a stratum overlying a clay layer. Consolidation is a time-dependent settlement of a fine-grained soil resulting from the expulsion of the water from the soil pores. The rate of escape of the water depends on the permeability of the soil. So in this way, you can, with the help of this diagram, you can see how the excess pore water dissipates in the saturated clay and consolidation takes place. So this is a graph between settlement and type. Permeability of the clay. For consolidation, permeability of the clay is low. Drainage occurs slowly, therefore the settlement is delayed. Clay soil undergo the consolidation settlement not only under the action of external loads, surcharge load, but also under its own weight or the weight of soils that exist above the clay geostatic load. So clay soil undergoes consolidation not only under the action of the external load, surcharge load, but also due to its own weight or the weight of the soil that exists above the clay. Clay soil also undergo settlement when the dewatered, example groundwater pumping, because the effective stress on the clay increases. So the amount of settlement is proportional to the one-dimensional strain caused by the variation in the effective stress. The rate of settlement is a function of a soil type, the geometry of a profile in 1D consolidation, the length of the drainage path, and a mathematical solution between a time factor and the percent consolidation which has occurred. Comparison between consolidation and compaction. Compaction is an instantaneous process. You all people have gone through the chapter of compaction also, so I am discussing some difference between compaction and consolidation. Compaction is an instantaneous process applicable to all types of soil. Consolidation is a time dependent process applicable to the clay soil only, can occur over hundreds of years. And compaction is applicable to unsaturated soil, decrease in the air voids, not water voids. Applicable to the saturated soil, decrease in water voids. For consolidation soil, consolidation is applicable for saturated soil, decrease in the water voids, air void does not exist. And for compaction, dry density increases, water content does not change. And for consolidation, dry density increases, water content decreases. So consolidation settlement, the clay layer as shown in a figure is a phase diagram. You can see volume of voids equal to E naught volume of solids. So Vs is equal to volume of solids, and Vs is equal to Vt naught upon 1 plus E naught, and Vvi is equal to EIVs upon, and this is before consolidation diagram, and this is after consolidation diagram. Vs is equal to Vti upon 1 plus Ei. So the volume of the solid remains constant in a soil profile. Any change in the height in the soil is equal to the change in the height of the voids. Consolidation settlement, the clay layer is shown as the phase diagram. So if the total and void volumes are divided by a unit cross sectional area, the respective heights are determined. Vti upon Vt naught is equal to 1 plus Ei upon 1 plus E naught, that is Hi upon H is equal to 1 plus Ei upon 1 plus E naught, H minus delta H upon H, and 1 plus Ei is upon 1 plus E naught. So similarly, you have to calculate the value of delta H. So the strain that occurs in a clay is equal to the change in the height divided by the original height. So strain is equal to delta H over H, and this is delta H. This is the settlement happening over here. So Ei is equal to E naught minus 1 plus E naught delta H upon H, where H is the full height of the clay layer. So we will continue from where we have left, student. There is a network issue. So I was discussing this thing. Ei is equal to E naught minus 1 plus E naught delta H upon H, where H is a fundamental of consolidation. spring cylinder model. During the consolidation, delta sigma remains the same and delta U decreases due to the drainage, while delta sigma dash increases, transferring the load from water to the soil. Spring cylinder model, the time dependent deformation of the saturated clay soil can be best understood by considering a simple model that consists of a cylinder with a spring at its center. The cylinder is filled with the water and has frictionless watertight piston and valve. Delta U is equal to 0. Spring cylinder model, if we place a load capital P on the piston and keep the valve closed, the entire load will be taken by water in the cylinder because water is incompressible. The spring will not go through any deformation. The excess hydrostatic pressure at this time can be given as delta U is equal to P by A and the effective stress is equal to 0. So variation of a total stress, pore water pressure and the effective stress in a clay layer drained at the top and the bottom as result of an added stress. You can see sand layer, clay layer and sand layer. This is the surcharge. So you have to, this is at time is equal to 0. This is total stress versus depth graph, and this is pore water pressure versus depth graph. If the valve is opened, the water will flow outward. This flow will accompanied by the reduction of the excess hydrostatic pressure and increase in the compression of the spring. Delta sigma is equal to P by A. Delta sigma is equal to delta sigma dash plus delta U. Delta sigma dash is greater than 0 and delta is equal to P upon A. Variation of the total stress, pore water pressure and the effective stress in a clay layer drained at the top and bottom as a result of an added stress delta sigma. You can see in the graph very clearly for the time between greater than 0 and less than infinity. You can see this time depth versus total stress, pore water pressure and effective stress versus depth variation. So the spring is totally compressed with the final valve. The load carried by the water therefore now is 0 and the entire load is carried by the solids. So variation of the total stress, pore water pressure and the effective stress in a clay layer drained at the top and bottom as a result of an added stress delta sigma at the time equal to infinity. So in laboratory you have to conduct this test. The audiometer test is used to investigate the 1D consolidation behavior of the fine grained soil. Place the sample in a ring, apply load, measure the height change, repeat for the new load. A laboratory consolidation test, this is dial gauge, this is soil sample, water bath and porous stone. Soil sample of 25 mm height and 2.5 inch equal to 63 mm diameter. And undisturbed soil sample 25 mm in height and 75 mm in diameter is confined in a steel confining ring and immersed in a water bath. It is subjected to a compressive stress by applying a vertical load which is assumed to act uniformly over the area of the soil sample. Several increments of the vertical stresses are applied, usually by doubling the previous increment. Two-way drainage is permitted through porous disc at the top and bottom. For each increment, the final settlement of the soil sample as well as the time taken to reach the final settlement is recorded. A few assumptions: load distribution is uniform, stress distribution in the different height is the same, no lateral deformation, the area of the sample section unchangeable, solid soil uncompressible. A laboratory consolidation test is performed on an undisturbed sample of a cohesive soil to determine its compressibility characteristic. The soil sample is assumed to be representing a soil layer in a ground. A conventional consolidation test is conducted over a number of load increments. The number of the load increments should cover the stress range from the initial stress state of the soil to the final stress state soil layer is expected to experience due to the proposed construction. Determine the height of the solid, that is capital HS, of the specimen of the mold. Determine the change in the height, that is delta S. Determine the final specimen, that is capital STF. Determine the height of the voids. Determine the final void ratio. HS is equal to WS upon pi by 4 D square GS rho W. HV is equal to STF minus HS. E is equal to HP upon HS. So the effective stress sigma dash and the corresponding void ratio E at the end of the consolidation are plotted on a semi-logarithmic graph. If the initial phase relatively great, change in the pressure only result in the less change in the void ratio small e. The reason is the part of the pressure got to compensate the expansion when the soil specimen was sampled. In the following phase, E changes at a great rate. This is the virgin curve, void ratio versus effective stress on the semi-logarithmic graph paper. Show the general shape of the plot of the deformation of the specimen against the time for a given load increment is shown below. For the plot, we can observe three distinct stages. Stage 1, initial compression mostly caused by preloading, deformation versus time graph. Stage 2, primary consolidation, excess pore water pressure is gradually transferred into the effective stress by the expulsion of the pore water pressure. Stage 3, secondary consolidation, occur after the complete dissipation of the excess pore water pressure. This is caused by the plastic adjustment of the soil fabric. Increment in a conventional consolidation test are generally of 24-hour duration and the load is doubled in successive increment. The main purpose of the consolidation test is to obtain soil data which is used in predicting the rate and the amount of settlement of the structure founded on a clay. The most important soil properties determined by a consolidation test are compression index CC. CC is equal to E1 minus. You can from once the test is conducted, we plot a graph between void ratio and effective stress, and such a graph is for compression index. We have to use this graph, and for recompression index, we have to give this second one graph. So it is CC is equal to E1 minus E2 upon log base sigma 2 minus log sigma 2. Swelling index CS. These two parameters can be calculated with the help of consolidation test. So compressibility coefficient AV can also be evaluated. AV is equal to minus delta E upon delta sigma is equal to E1 minus E2 upon sigma 2 minus sigma 1. AV less than 0.1 megapascal is equal to low compressibility, and for 0.1 to 0.5 it is middle compressibility, and for greater than 0.5 it is higher compressibility. So coefficient of volume compressibility MV can also be calculated. This parameter is defined as change in the volume per unit volume as the ratio with respect to the change in the stress. The MV is equal to AV upon 1 plus E naught. Pre-consolidation pressure, which is very important parameter, that can also be calculated. Normal consolidated clay whose present effective overburden pressure is maintained, pressure that the soil was subjected to past. The normally consolidated case, the whose present effective overburden pressure is the maximum pressure that the soil was subjected to in the past. Over consolidated, whose present effective overburden pressure is the less than that which is soil is experienced in the past. The maximum effective pressure, past pressure is called the pre-consolidation pressure. Pre-consolidation pressure can be evaluated. Pre-consolidation can be determined by as follow. Establish a point A at which the curve has a minimum radius of curvature. Draw a line. This is the same curve which we have plotted versus void ratio and effective stress. So in this curve you have to establish a point at which a curve has a minimum radius of curvature. Draw a horizontal line AB. Draw the line AC at the tangent A. Draw the line AD, which is the bisector of the angle BAC. This is the angle BAC. First of all, what you have to do, you have to identify this point A, and then you have to draw a horizontal line AB, and then you have to draw the tangent AC, and after that you have to draw a bisector of angle BAC. So you will get this line AD, which is the bisector of angle BAC. Project the straight line GH. Project the straight line GH of the E log sigma plot back to intersect the line at F. Propagate this line GH to intersect again at F. So the abscissa of the point F. The abscissa of the point F is the pre-consolidation pressure. This PC dash is the pre-consolidation pressure. Pre-consolidation pressure is a very important point. So the over-consolidation ratio for a soil can now be defined as OCR is defined as pre-consolidation pressure upon present effective vertical pressure. So the OCR of an over-consolidation soil is greater than 1. Most over-consolidated clay soil have fairly high shear strength. The OCR cannot have a value less than 1. Coefficient of consolidation CV. The rate of consolidation settlement CV is estimated using the coefficient of consolidation CV. This parameter is determined by, for each load increment in the test, the coefficient of consolidation CV can be determined by Casagrande logarithmic of the time and by Taylor square root time method. So coefficient of CV by logarithmic of the time method. The following construction are needed for determine CV. Extend the line portion of the primary and secondary consolidation to intersect at A. The ordinate of A is represented by D100, that is the deformation at the end of 100% primary consolidation. The following construction are needed to determine the initial curved portion of the plot of this deformation versus log t is approximated to be a parabola on the natural scale. Select the time t1 and t2 on the curved portion such that the t2 is equal to 4t1. Let the difference of the specimen deformation during the time t2 minus t1 be equal to x. Logarithmic of the time method. The draw horizontal line DE such that the vertical distance BD is equal to x. The deformation corresponding to the line DE is due, that is deformation is 0%. The ordinate of point F on the consolidation curve. Repeat the deformation at 50% primary consolidation and its abscissa represent the corresponding time T50. So actually this was the graph T1, T2, T50. This is this deformation versus time log graph is plotted. This is D100, this is D50, what I was talking about. Logarithmic of the time method. For 50% average degree of the consolidation, TV is equal to 0.197, so CV is equal to 0.197 HDR का whole square upon T50. SDR is equal to average longest distance drainage path during the consolidation. For specimen drained at the top and bottom, SDR is equal to 1/2 the overage height of the specimen during the consolidation. For a specimen drained at only one side, SDR is equal to the average height of the specimen during the consolidation. Now I am discussing second method, square root of the time method. Taylor. Plot a deformation against the square root of time. Draw a line AB through the early portion of the curve. Draw the line AC such that OC is equal to 1.15 of OB. The abscissa of the point D, which is the intersection of AC and the consolidation curve, gives the square root of the time 90% time for 90% consolidation. Plot a deformation against the square root of the time for 90% consolidation. T90 is equal to 0.848. So CV is equal to 0.848 SDR का whole square upon T90. So this is the basically the curve which we get, and this is deformation versus under T root time. You all people should also go through books of Bisu Punamiya to understand these things clearly. And I think you all people might have learned these topics in your geotechnical. I am just revising the topics. So primary consolidation. For normally consolidated case, S is equal to CCH upon 1 plus E naught log sigma V naught dash plus delta sigma CV sigma V naught dash. For over consolidated case, with sigma V naught dash plus delta sigma V less than is equal to PC dash. S equal to CSH upon 1 plus E naught log sigma V naught dash plus delta sigma V or delta sigma V naught. CC is equal to compression index, CS is equal to swelling index. For over consolidation clay with sigma V naught dash over consolidation pressure is less than sigma V naught dash and less than equal to sigma V naught dash plus delta sigma. S is equal to CSH upon 1 plus E naught log base PC dash upon sigma V naught dash plus CCH 1 plus E naught log base sigma V naught dash plus delta sigma upon PC dash, where E naught is equal to initial void ratio of the clay, PC dash is equal to pre-consolidation pressure, H is equal to thickness of the layer, and sigma V naught dash is equal to overburden effective pressure at the middle of the clay layer. Secondary consolidation. At the end of the primary consolidation, that is after the complete dissipation of the excess pore water pressure, some settlement is observed that is due to the plastic adjustment of the soil fabrics. This stage of the consolidation is secondary consolidation. A plot of deformation against the logarithmic of the time during the secondary consolidation is practically linear as shown in a figure. You can see very clearly in a figure between void ratio and time log. So the formula for the secondary compression index can be defined. C alpha is equal to delta E log T2 minus log T1. CA is equal to secondary compression index, and delta is equal to change of the void ratio or at T1 T2 equal to time. The magnitude of the secondary consolidation can be calculated. SCS is equal to C alpha dash H log T2 upon T1. C alpha dash is equal to C alpha 1 plus EP. EP is equal to void ratio at the end of the primary consolidation, and small h is equal to thickness of the clay layer. Secondary consolidation settlement is not more important in the case of all organic and highly compressible inorganic soil. In over consolidated In organic clays, the secondary compression index is very small and of the less practical significance. So Terzaghi derived the time rate of the consolidation based on the following assumption: the soil is homogeneous and fully saturated. There is a unique relationship independent of the time between void ratio and effective stress. The soil particles and the water are incompressible. Compression and the flow are one-dimensional in vertical direction. Strains in the soil are relatively small. Darcy law is valid at all hydraulic gradient. The coefficient of permeability and volume compressibility remain constant throughout the process. Degree of consolidation: the average degree of consolidation for the entire depth of the clay layer at any time t can be expressed at u is equal to st upon sf, 1 minus 1 upon 2 hdr, integration from limit 0 to 2 hdr, uz dz upon u naught, where capital U is equal to average degree of consolidation, st is equal to settlement of the layer at the time t, sf is equal to final settlement of the layer from primary consolidation. Now degree of consolidation: the value of the time factor and their corresponding average degree of consolidation for case presented in may also be approximated by the following simple relationship: for u is equal to 0 to 60%, tv is equal to pi by 4 u percentage upon 100 whole square. For u greater than 60%, tv is equal to 1.781 minus 0.93 log 100 minus u percentage. tv is equal to cvt hdr का whole square. cv is equal to k1 plus e1 a gamma w. The result, these are some results for determination. These are some problems you should solve. So I have discussed many things from consolidation chapter also. I think you all people might. Now I will revise vertical stress chapter. So after revising the concept of consolidation as well as vertical stress, I think you all people will be in position to determine the immediate settlement, consolidation settlement and secondary settlement of the footing, which is the part of third unit. And after that I have discussed some allowable limits, tolerable limits for foundation, raft foundation and different types of foundation. So once I will revise the unit of the vertical stresses, I think I have completely revised unit 2 and unit 3 also. Afterwards I will revise the unit 1, stability of slopes. So just keep trying to solve the numerical problem related to these units. Whether it's from BC Punamiya book, whether it should be from C. Venkatramaiah, try to solve it. Try to solve some GATE previous year questions. Try to solve some engineering services question. And always feel free to clarify your doubts. I am always ready to clarify your doubts over here. Once you are not understanding any concept, try to revert back to the videos many times, go through it many times, go through the books many times. You can call me up anytime regarding any issues. So thank you students, thank you once again for listening to me.